So for this video, I roped in Heidi Reeser again, and she brought along this great resource that utilizes Pear Deck. And if you went through one of the previous pathways, you might have come across Pear Deck as a resource. I'm going to drop it in here a couple of different times because it's a really good one. If just the crash course on this is it adds into your PowerPoint presentations. It makes them interactive without actually changing the presentation. You give students a code and then they can pull up your presentation on your screen, but you can build in things like drawing activities or text responses, and you can see the answers of all of your students, but they can't see the answers, but you can show them. It's super great. Well, the other thing that comes along with Pear Deck is this list of pre-made templates. And one of those, I was just meeting with Heidi about something else, which I think I say here in a second, and she's like, oh, I have to show you this really great SEL template that's along with Pear Deck. You might be able to use it. She had no idea I was working this training, and then I roped her into talking about it a little bit. So I'm not going to take up too much more time. Here is Heidi and I, me and Heidi and I. Here I am, here me am. Here's Heidi and I talking about this template from Pear Deck as a resource to address student self-awareness. All right, full transparency before we get going on this. Heidi here and I were meeting for a completely different reason, and she started talking about these things. She went on this little bird walk. She started talking about these things that absolutely positively relate to the social emotional training that we're doing with Borden School District. And I said, wait, stop. Can I record you talking about this? And because she's a dedicated and caring professional, she's agreed to just let me start recording our Zoom. And so the first thing she pulled up was, and you're going to see the second thing if you want to go to a different video, it's in a different benchmark. So the first thing she pulled up for me was this Pear Deck it's a template within Pear Deck, and I've provided the copy for you down below that just addresses some social emotional learning templates. And so I only know what Heidi has told me about this. I haven't even looked through all the slides yet. It's cool. So I told Heidi that I'm going to ask her, what is this? And why do you think it's a good resource for teachers? Does that sound good, Heidi?
Excellent. So
right, what a champ.
Yep. So we're working on some technology, and we were talking about Pear Deck, and I said, oh, I love this social emotional learning template in Pear Deck because you can use this Pear Deck as a morning check-in. You could also use this Pear Deck as a gauge for how, you could use this for an engagement kind of dipstick, right? How engaged do you think these kids are going to be in the topic we're going to be talking about today? But what I like about it is it's a great check-in. It's a great stress check. And then it also addresses the topic you're going to be learning about. And not only that, social awareness, because it asks you to try to seek out a different perspective, one that's different from your own, which actually is depending on the age, is what we want to strive for. We want to be able to take perspective. So I love this Pear Deck because of that. And it's interactive, right? So they get to go and submit their own personal responses. It's not like putting anybody on the spot in a class, maybe like a class meeting, where you pull everybody together, and the kids that have had a bucket dipping day maybe won't share, but they can when you offer them this interactive Pear Deck. So bright, colorful, great resource.
No, and that's excellent. And so below this, I'm also providing instructions on how to install Pear Deck into PowerPoint and then how to create this lesson. But I mean, the beauty behind this is you don't actually have to create anything. You just have to go through and edit some of these different pieces here, like regarding what topic are you talking about? So you just delete that and put your own stuff in there. And the Pear Deck responses are already put in here for you. It's this nice drag and drop. And I haven't made this video yet, but my plan is in the intro to talk about not only the importance of incorporating activities that address the social emotional learning benchmarks into everyday lessons, but also intentional teaching of some of those social emotional skills. This does both, right? Like you incorporate this activity that allows students to have their own authentic response in this private environment that's just for you, but could also be shared if they're comfortable with that. And then it addresses things like, just as we're going through, can you imagine someone having a different perspective than you on whatever topic, right? That's that empathy piece, which off the top of my head, I think that's benchmark 4, right? So this is great. Heidi, you're the best. Thank you very, very much.
I love it. The other thing is, real quick, is that you can take one slide out at a time. I mean, if you want to mix and match or just use one quick check-in slide, maybe after recess, you can just take that one slide and use it in your Pear Deck and have them communicate with you. So you don't have to take the whole slide deck, right? You can pick and choose.
Beautiful.